What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. It is week 14, the final week here of the fantasy football regular season. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Q&A for you guys, as we do every single Tuesday. Probably going to be focusing on things like waivers, trades, start sits here in week 14, rest of season schedules, dynasty questions, all that good stuff. Appreciate everybody who is here early. I see Givo, Trap, Six Rings, Insidious, Kennedy. Who else we got in here? Patty, Caleb, everybody who's been in here early. Appreciate you guys more than you know. Now, look, we are going to get into the questions here very quickly. Like I said, we got about an hour to answer as many as we possibly can. But I will remind you folks at home, if you do want to support this stream, the best way to do that is going to be by hitting that like button. Please hit that like button for me. If I answer your question, only if I answer your question. If I don't answer your question, you don't owe me shit. Also, if you want to go above and beyond, you can support us over on Underdog. Underdog is going to be the best way to support this show. Promo code LeagueFFB is the promo code to use, because when you use that promo code, you're not only going to get $100 in bonus funds, but you're also going to get a lot of gimme picks, things like that throughout the year. So definitely something to take advantage of if you've never done it. Play $5, get $100 by using promo code LeagueFFB. Now, with that out of the way, let's just get right into the questions, man. I don't want to waste too much time. Let's hop into it. I see Givo said he was the first one in. He said I was first, but my comment got deleted. I don't know why it got deleted. I wasn't checking them. So whatever you said, I didn't see it. What else we got in here? Six Rings, a lot of JJ McCarthy talk to start the show. Six Rings says, Max Brosmer was about to purdy JJM, huh? And Insidious says, I think 9 has his job back. The announcers were glazing the fuck out of Brosmer. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I said it. I wasn't, super high on Brosmer going into the weekend. I know a lot of people really wanted to. I think it's more JJ McCarthy hate than it is anything else, to be honest. I don't even know if people actually liked Brosmer, if they just wanted another reason to hate on McCarthy. But look, that's not what we're here for, man. Let's get right into the first question. And I think this is the first question that I have here. What are your thoughts for the squad for the playoffs? 12-man, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex, Dak, JT Jacobs, Kyron, JSN, Lamb, Sutton, Gadsden, Texans D, Myers. Bench has Watson, Godwin, Emmanuel Wilson, Corum, Waller, Reed on IR. It's a really solid team. I mean, I like the quarterback. I like the running back. I like the wide receiver. Feels like after Lamb, it does fall off a little bit. So being 3 start wide receivers with Sutton as the wide receiver 3, he has been inconsistent. So I think that's the only thing maybe is the wide receiver 3 spot feels a little weak. I would say the tight end 2 with Waller and Gadsden. It's good, not great, but overall, I think it's a good team, and I think you have a real shot with that roster to win it, specifically because of the running backs and the 2 wide receivers. He said, would you try to avoid playing the highest scoring person of round 1 of the playoffs? I'm second highest scoring. His best players are Dart, Javonte, Genty, Pickens, Bowers, JMO. I'm not doing anything weird, to try and mess with my seeding. I think it's a little galaxy-brained. This is also, unpredictable game. So even if you go try and win or you try and lose or whatever you're trying to do this week, it could still go a different way and it ends up being something that you didn't want anyway. So I wouldn't try and galaxy-brain it. Who I play is whoever's in front of me, and that's the attitude that I like to go forward with. Sending a random playoff first for Barclays. It's a 14-team super flex, start 9, but I'm probably the number 3 team right now. I have no issues with it. I still have Barkley as like a top 15 running back for me the rest of the season. Dynasty, you feel a little bit less excited about Barkley, I think, long term, because you did have the big year last year. The offensive line in Philly does seem like it's getting a tiny bit worse, mainly because of the loss of Jason Kelsey. But also, it does feel like Saquon's, getting a little bit older as a running back. His value may not ever hit the same peak that it hit, in the offseason, but I have no issue with it. Like I said, top 15 guy, probably a high-end RB2 for you in the playoffs. In a 14-team league, a playoff first, no issues with that, really. So I'm down for it. Caleb, what's up, man? He says, waivers, should I go Higgins or Mike Evans rest of season? Defense, Bucks, Commanders, or Rams for week 14, my go-to guy. I think I'd still rather go Mike Evans. I think the ceiling is just higher with Mike Evans. And if I'm doing rest of season, I'm thinking about trying to win, my matchups. Who do I want to plug into my lineup? I'm still not super comfortable about plugging Jaden Higgins into the lineup, even though he's had some uptick over the last couple of weeks. For the defenses, Bucks, Commanders, or Rams. I do have the Bucks as my defense number 5 this week. I have the Rams as my defense number 4, and I have the Commanders as my defense number 9. So I am going to go with the Rams over the Buccaneers. I think you could have an argument for either of them. But yeah, I think I like the Rams this week. They've just been so damn good all year, all around. I mean, they're the best team in football to me. I think they should be the Super Bowl favorite for sure at this point in time. Gadsden was a complete flop for me this week. Not feeling good about him rest of the season with Herbert's hand injury. Would you look to start Waller or an old Ertz coming off of a great game? I mean, right now I'm looking at my rankings going for week 14. Gadsden is the highest in my rankings right now. I have Waller as the second highest, and then after that it would be Ertz. So I still believe in Gadsden. I still would be playing Gadsden. He's going to be a little more boom bust. I think all tight ends are just boom bust. But if you are nervous, Waller would be my second best option. It's going to be Gadsden for me, but Waller's the second best option of those ones. Who do you like this next week? Watson versus Chicago, Godwin versus New Orleans, or Sutton versus Las Vegas? Right now, I currently have Sutton versus Las Vegas as the highest in my rankings. Watson would be right below him by one spot. I have Sutton as my wide receiver 20 right now. Watson is my wide receiver 21. And then Godwin would be after them as wide receiver 27. So give me Sutton right now. Going to be playing him. Purple hat is popping and Jaden Higgins above. Yeah, I figured it was Jaden Higgins. But appreciate you with the purple hat, man. I usually don't wear the purple because I always feel like it blends into the background. It always looks weird, but I think when I have the black hood up, it looks better. I don't know. Maybe thinking too much into it, but I always feel like it looks better when you have the hoodie on to contrast it. Do I start Bo Nix or Caleb Williams? I mean, right now, Bo Nix going to play Las Vegas. Las Vegas has been top 12 against the quarterback position this year. I'm looking at Caleb Williams. He plays Green Bay. Green Bay's been top 4, so it is a tougher matchup for Caleb Williams. If I have to pick between the two of them, I do think I lean Bo Nix here as the starter in Week 14. Would you trade away Jonathan Taylor for Breece, a 27 late first and a 26 late second? We are both contenders, and I love JT, but I do not like his rest of season schedule. Here's the thing I would say. Of all of these assets, JT's the one that's going to help you win a championship this year. I get people saying they don't like the rest of the season schedule. I get it. Jonathan Taylor is probably the fantasy football MVP right now. There's no ifs, ands, or but about it, in my opinion. So I look at where I have him right now. Yes, a tough game against Jacksonville this week. They are top 8. It is technically a red matchup for him, but I still have him as a top 5 running back. You get Seattle next week, still probably going to be a top 5 running back for me in my rankings. San Francisco the following week, second round of the playoffs. Middle of the road matchup for me. And then Jacksonville again, probably still going to be a top 5 player for me in my rankings. So if you're looking for a championship, Jonathan Taylor is the way to go. As far as the compensation goes in Dynasty, that is solid compensation. If you can down tier to a guy like Breece, who we think can have some value insulation in the offseason, you get a first round pick and a really strong draft class in 2027. You also get a second round pick. It's solid compensation, but is the compensation enough for you to forfeit potentially winning a fantasy playoff matchup with a top 5 player in your lineup every week? I think that's the question you have to ask yourself. For me, if you want Jonathan Taylor right now as we're heading into the playoffs, you gotta overpay. You have to overpay, because I'm not forfeiting a championship just because I want a couple draft picks thrown in and I don't like his rest of the season schedule. Like I said, he's been the fantasy MVP, man. I remember last year he went on a playoff tear and won people championships. He can still do it this year, even if the matchups are tough. Givo says, our Lakers are doing great so far. Might cop a Luka jersey. Man, it's so tough for me to wear any basketball jerseys these days. I feel like I got to wear like apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, things like that. But they are playing some good basketball right now. In playoffs, are you big on just playing who got you there, or do you get cute and play the matchups? Try and, for the most part, start my studs live by that, die by that. And lower end guys, middle range guys, I'm more likely to look at matchups. So, like we just talked about with Jonathan Taylor, the rest of season schedule, I could give a shit about what his rest of season schedule is. I'm not benching Jonathan Taylor. So I think that's kind of how I would look at it. With other guys like, let's say, DeAndre Swift, a Woody Marks, I'm looking at matchups. I'm looking at matchups for those guys. But top high-end guys, hell no. Made the playoffs in 13 out of 14 leagues. Dynasty and redraft, God willing, I win most of the championships. Hell yes, dude. I love to hear that. Love to hear that, man. I think for me, I had 2 leagues. I play in 5 leagues, so not a lot. I know a lot of people love to play in tons of leagues. 14 for me would be overkill with the content side of things, and then trying to manage 14 teams. Not for me. I do all lineup too. I don't do best ball leagues, so I know that some people do that, and that's how they get into a ton of them. I'm in 5. I was intentionally rebuilding in 2 of them, but the 3 that I wasn't, I made playoffs in all of them. I was the 1 seed in 1 of them, got a bye in another one, I think, and then the other one. Actually, I was the 1 seed in 2 of them, and then the other one, I just missed the bye week. I'm the 3 seed right now in that league, but that's my 1 redraft league. The dynasties, I'm the 1 seeds. Enough about my leagues though. Who gives a shit? Indiana Jones or Herbie fully loaded. Daniel Jones hasn't played great football the last couple of weeks, and Herbert dealing with that injury. I'm not viewing either of these guys as top, 12-ish options. I am going to lean Daniel Jones though because of the matchup. I'm going to go Daniel Jones. Thoughts on trades during playoffs? I hate it. I'm not for it. I know some people say no trade deadlines, trade whenever you want. Fuck that. I think if there's one time you should not be able to trade, it's going to be in the playoffs, man. I don't want somebody getting eliminated, be like, okay, I thought I was going to have a chance to go win a championship and now I'm not. So let me just sell all my shit to the one team that's still there. Nope, not me. Never will play in a league that, I don't care if your trade deadline is week 14. If you want the final regular season week, you want to end it for the 3 weeks that there's playoffs, you don't trade, I'm cool with that. But if you're trading the playoffs, I'm not for it, man. It's just not my cup of tea. But I know some people do. No knock to you if it is your thing, but I will never play in that league with you. Gadsden or Schultz in a full PPR. Let me go with Gadsden, man. I still got him there. Still going to be higher in my ranks. Could you name the few QBs above and below Brissett against the Rams this week? Yeah, let's look at it. Right now, above him, I mean, the list is pretty short. I have Jacoby Brissett as a top 12 guy. So above him, guys like Joe Burrow, Lamar, Jordan Love, Bo Nix. Guys below him, just a few would be like Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, Justin Herbert. Those would be the names. Fighting Sauce Everything is crazy for a name, by the way. But I locked up first place and was curious if I should go into the playoffs with just one quarterback and use the spots for running backs and wide receivers. I have Burrow, Herbert, and Brissett. Burrow, Herbert, and Brissett. I don't have an issue with you rocking with 1 or 2 of them. I wouldn't take 3 into it. If I had to pick 2, I think I would go with Burrow and Herbert the rest of the way, and drop Brissett and pick up a running back or a wide receiver. If you're only going 1, I would just go Burrow the rest of the way. Burrow's higher than both those guys in my rankings this week. He plays Baltimore and Miami the next 2 weeks, which should be pretty positive matchups. Then he plays Arizona. So I think you have an argument that you could play Burrow the rest of the way. It's just tough to know, what Cincy decides to do a month into the season, a month further from now, if they don't win a couple of these next games against Buffalo and Baltimore. So I would probably take 2 for safety. It would be Herbert and it would be Burrow for me. And the reason why I would keep Herbert is because even though he does have a tough matchup this week and a tough championship week matchup, I do think that Dallas matchup in week 16 and the KC matchup are interesting, I think, for the most part. So, yeah, I'd probably keep Herbert. Says Herb, Burrow, Brissett, CMC, JT. Yeah, makes sense. I think Brissett's the odd man out for me. And if both of them are out, then it's Herb and Brissett that would be out, and I'd just go Burrow the rest of the way. Debo, Troy, Michael Wilson, pick 2.5 PPR. Let's see. I currently have Michael Wilson the highest, Troy's the second, and Debo is the last. So if you're going to be sitting one, for me, it's Debo Samuel this week. If you absolutely had to drop one in full PPR, it's Flowers, Diggs, or Metcalf. The drop is going to be Metcalf. Don't trust him. He's been very bad over the last little while. Basically, since like week 7, I'm going to say this, and you can fact check it because I know the data is good because I just said it the other day, and I checked it myself. If you go back to like week 7, DK Metcalf has averaged less fantasy points per game than Mac Hollins. That's where we're at with DK. So, yeah, he's droppable for sure. And I'd rather keep Flowers and Diggs. How do you feel about rest of season JSN and Jacobs? Right now, Jacobs is a top 12 running back for me rest of season, and JSN is my wide receiver 1 the rest of the way. There is nobody higher than JSN, so I think both of those guys should be very good players for you the rest of the way. AMJ says in a 12-team Dynasty Superflex, full PPR and tight end premium 1.5 with half-point first down bonuses, and it's start 11. I'm in the final week before the trade deadline and looking to use Saquon to upgrade my running back stable. He says my current trade on the table is Saquon and a late 2026 first and 2 2026 thirds for Achane. How much more would you add to push this over the top? I mean, I think the only other way that I would go over the top is it's honestly going to be somewhat of a similar deal that we just talked about with the JT one. It was Breece, a first and a second. So I think if you're looking at this one, Saquon, a first and a second, that's probably about as much as I'm willing to go for Achane. The value's good. I would rather have Achane rest of season. If you're trying to compete, you would rather have Achane right now. I look at my rest of season rankings for running backs, and Achane is my running back 2 the rest of the way. So definitely would like to have him on the team. I'm willing to turn those 2/3 into a second. If he wants a second and a third and he's being real greedy, then yeah, sure, that's fine. But I'm not 2 firsts. I'm not going to 2 firsts in Saquon. Who do I drop to bring Hampton off of IR? It's Burden, Tootin, Strange, Jag defense. I have Tampa 2, or Jordan Mason pending Jones injury. Jordan Mason, man, he's a drop. I dropped him in a 10-man redraft league. So yeah, I'm not really holding on to Jordan Mason right now. Being offered JT for my Gibbs. I don't know. What do you think? I do have Jonathan Taylor as my running back 1 the rest of the way. Jahmyr Gibbs is my running back 3 the rest of the way. So if I am being offered that in a redraft league, I will take JT. In a dynasty league, though, I'm still taking Gibbs because of the age difference there. Brandon says, need a running back and a flex with CMC and Rico the Frico on bye. Full PPR, you got ETN, Breece, Pittman, and Smitty. So for the wide receivers right now, looking at Pittman and Smitty, I currently have Devonta Smith as my wide receiver 15 this week. I got Pittman as my wide receiver 19. For the running backs, I currently have ETN is my running back 16, and Breece is my running back 9. So if I have to pick between these guys, I think I'm going with Breece, and I think I'm going with Smitty in a full PPR. Breece and Smitty. Is Troy Franklin losing his wide receiver 1 status in Denver with Sutton's performance last week and Bryant emerging? I don't know if I would say he was the wide receiver 1. He was pushing for targets. If Bryant gets mixed in consistently, it's going to be messy. But I don't know if I ever fully viewed Franklin as the wide receiver 1 over Sutton. So to me, it was just wide receiver 2. I think it's just a matter of how much does Bryant eat into the wide receiver 2 targets. Brandon says, I feel like Justin Jefferson isn't even playable anymore. Picked him one pick before JT and may have been my worst pick of the draft. Yeah, we talked about him today as one of the more disappointing players in 2025 so far. Not his fault. It's been the quarterback play, the offensive efficiency. Justin Jefferson has not lost any talent. But yeah, it still hasn't hit, any the less, I guess, or any less harshly. I don't know, whatever I'm trying to say there. But I'm looking at my rest of season rankings for Justin Jefferson. I have him in the same bucket as Chris Olave and Devonta Smith. So that should tell you kind of where we're at with Justin Jefferson, because talent-wise, you wouldn't put him with those guys. He would be closer to the JSN, Jamar Chase, Puka type of talent bucket. But because of the situation, yeah, he's more so being viewed as like a Devonta Smith level rest of season asset for me. Let's see. Thoughts on Kyren rest of season and splitting with Corum. My rest of season, I currently have Kyren Williams as my running back 10. So still viewing him as a running back 1 right now and the rest of the way. Think Corum's still going to be involved. Still think Corum, has a little bit of a pesky role in this offense. Still a handcuff, though. I talked about it on the waiver wire episode this week. He is a handcuff. It's an elite one. It's a high-end one. It's one that does have a little bit of a role right now. But I don't think he's taken over, any much of what Kyren has to offer rest of season. It's still going to be one of the better offenses, still going to be plenty of touchdown opportunities for him, and I still view Kyren as the guy. Frank says, if the Lakers win the title and LeBron is the Finals MVP, you got to get a LeBron James jersey. I will never own a LeBron James jersey in my life. Ever. I'd consider a Luka one, though. I have a Lonzo Ball one in my closet from UCLA, actually. One of my old jerseys that I had, because I wanted Lonzo Ball on the Lakers so bad. Do you at all worry about Brissett against the Rams, or is it beneficial since we've seen him throw crazy attempts when down in games? I think it is beneficial. Obviously, you worry about things like interceptions and fumbles and things like that, but I think it's going to be a game where they have to play keep up. He's going to have to throw the football a ton, and we know that they don't really have a reliable run game. It's a hodgepodge of guys right now that they're trying to piece together until Benson gets back, and we still haven't heard really any great news about Benson either. So, yeah, I still view it as it's a tougher matchup, but he's going to have to throw that shit all over the yard right now. So, yeah, not too worried about him. Is Hawkinson worth a pickup for the playoffs? I dropped him 2 weeks ago. I have Fannin and Otten. He hasn't been good either. Again, it goes right back to the situation. The offensive situation in Minnesota hasn't been good. My rest of season rankings currently have TJ Hawkinson as my tight end 21. That is below Otten. That is below Fannin. So I would rather play Fannin and Otten the rest of the way than Hawkinson. So no, I probably would not drop those guys for TJ, unfortunately. Bruce City Bob says, Andrews, Mason Taylor, or Helm. You got to start 2 of them. Full PPR in the tight end premium. Looking at my tight end rankings for this week, I have Andrews and Taylor as the 2 highest of those 3. So I'm going to play those 2, Andrews and Taylor. Cup, Malik, or Jaden Reed if he's back. I'm down bad in a league for wide receiver 3. If Jaden Reed is back, you play Jaden Reed. I like him more than those options. If you have to pick between Washington and Cup, you really don't like having to pick between Washington and Cup. But I think the right answer is probably Washington. Should I start Burrow, trash-ass Lamar, or Dak? You got to pick 2 of these guys in super flex. I'm going to go with, right now, Dak is the number 1 guy. I like him against Detroit on Thursday Night Football. Should be a great game for him. Going to be playing him. And then I'm going Burrow over Lamar. I'm benching Lamar this week for Burrow and Dak. That's what I'm doing, man. Kind of liking Brissett over Burrow. Talk me out of it. I don't think I would do it. I do have them about 5 spots apart in my rankings right now. I think for me, it's more so Joe Burrow. It's going to be a tough game against Buffalo. Buffalo's going to want to throw the football. They're going to want to throw the football. It's going to be high scoring. It should be fireworks with Burrow and Allen. That's what I'm buying into. The narrative I'm buying into. Brissett is going to have to throw the ball a lot. But I'm just trusting the talent of Joe Burrow. If you're feeling it, you're feeling it. But my rankings tell me Burrow over Brissett right now. Citing the above-mentioned roster, pick one. Watson, Reed, Godwin, Singletary, or Bam. Thank you. Okay, so if I'm picking one of these guys right now, it's going to be Watson. He's the highest in the rankings this week. I do think he has wide receiver 2 potential this week in that matchup against Chicago. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Watson this week. Who would you add? AD Mitchell, Vele, Pat Bryant, or Njoku? It's AD Mitchell. Not really too excited about Njoku. Pat Bryant, Vele, I think AD Mitchell's the guy for me. Start 2, Jettas, ETN, and Rome. Rough. I currently have Justin Jefferson as my wide receiver 13 this week. I have Rome as my wide receiver 28. So I'm going Jettas over Rome, and I have ETN higher than them. So, yeah, man, I'm going with ETN and Jettas as the 2. PPR, start 2, Hampton, Jordan Mason, Strange, Burden, Corum, Tootin. It's going to be Hampton. It's going to be Strange. The other guys I do not think are startable at this point in time. Pick one, quarterback for the week. Herbert, T-Law, Tua, Stroud, Williams, Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Shuck, Cousins. God damn, the list of quarterbacks here. I need to stop saying I'm noticing I'm saying that a lot tonight. I think I'm moving too fast. Herbert, T-Law, and then I just did it again. Herbert, T-Law, Tua, Stroud, Williams, Daniel Jones. I have T-Law. T-Law as the highest in my rankings this week, so give me T-Law out of this group. Daniel Jones, Brisket, or Lamar. You're starting 2 of them. It's Lamar and Brissett. I'm not playing Daniel Jones over those 2 guys. Pretty sure I'm buying Joe Burr from a buddy in the offseason. Oh, I don't know if I love the, hey, we'll do this later. I mean, it happens, but nothing solidified until you press that accept button. Objective value in a 10-team Superflex 4-point passing touchdown dynasty. Objective value in a 10-man league, he's probably 2 firsts. 2 firsts and a second, somewhere around there for Joe Burrow for me. The fact that it's 10-team devalues it just a tiny bit, but Burrow's still Burrow. So, yeah, I'd say 2 firsts, 2 and a second. That's probably where I'd be at with him as far as objective value. What's good, Brody? I'm in 5 leagues and in the playoffs in all 5. Love to see that, man. 5 leagues, for me, feels like the sweet spot as well. What's up, Mark Twain? How would you rank these tight ends rest of season? Gadsden, Waller, Strange, and Ertz. I have Gadsden as the highest of them. Strange is the second. Waller as the third. And Ertz as the fourth. So, in that order that you have it, just swap Strange and Waller. Is Devin Neal droppable? I wouldn't. I don't think I would. And the only reason why is because he does have a pretty good rest of season schedule. It's a lot of green matchups. I don't know if Kamara is going to be back. And he should have at least flex-worthy running back numbers the rest of the way. So I think I'd still have Devin Neal. I wouldn't be dropping him to the waiver wire. Fannin or Ingram this week? Why don't you go with Fannin? I have him higher in my rankings. He is the tight end 10 for me, and Ingram is the tight end 18. All right, all caught up so far, 32 minutes in, halfway point. Appreciate everybody who's been here asking questions so far. If you have asked a question and I've answered your question, do me the favor and hit that like button. It is the best free way to show the channel some support. I see we're at 8 right now. I know I've answered more than 8 questions. So, do me the favor. If I answered your question, go hit that like button. And if you want to go above and beyond and you've never ever tried out an app called Underdog, I strongly encourage you to go do it. We do have a promo code with them. LeagueFFB is the promo code that you would use. And if you use that and play $5 in the app, they will give you $100 in bonus funds. So I strongly encourage you to go try it out. Might be a good time to do it, especially if you're, maybe if you've got eliminated from the fantasy playoffs and you want some stuff to root for over the next couple of weeks that aren't your fantasy team. I would strongly encourage you to go do this. So LeagueFFB, that's the promo code for you. Other than that, let's get back into the questions, man. Keep them coming. I'm going to keep answering them as much as they come, as much as they keep coming in. And then once we get to about that hour mark, we will wrap this up. Or if it gets slow beforehand and you guys aren't really throwing in a bunch of questions, we'll see. I'll go as long as you guys are willing to throw in some questions. But let's keep it up, man. Jeff says, should I flex Troy Franklin or Chris Rodriguez in a full PPR league? Yikes. I have Chris Rodriguez as my running back 37 this week. He is not ranked highly. Wide receiver wise, where's Troy? He's my wide receiver 25. I would rather go Troy. Rather go Troy right now. Jalen Warren or Chase Brown this week to save the season. High pressure, high stakes. I'm looking at it right now. I got Jalen Warren as my running back 18 in this matchup versus Baltimore. And Chase Brown is my running back 5 against Buffalo. So if we're going for the season, it's top 5 Chase Brown for me this week. That's the hand that I would ride with. And hopefully we can save you that season here. Dynasty League, I'm the number 1 team and I want to push forward Jettas. Trade pieces are BTJ, Egbuka, Pearsall, Chase Brown, Walker, Monungai, McConkey, Rasheed, Olave. Any ideas? Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this team right now. I feel like a name that sticks out. The 2 names that stick out would be like Olave and BTJ. So what I would be trying to do is take one of those receivers, either BTJ or Olave, whichever one the other guy's higher on, and pair them with a Walker or pair them with a Monungai and see if I can get them to bite on something like that. Could you do BTJ and Walker and package the 2 together, sell them on a better year next year for BTJ? Walker's a free agent. He can go find better life and then just get Justin Jefferson. That's probably what I would try and do. And then you could have that wide receiver room be built around McConkey, Rasheed, and then whichever wide receiver you, or I guess Egbuka too. Yeah, I mean, you got to use one of the wide receivers to pair it. You have so many of them. Is Strange worth the pickup? Should I drop Aaron Jones or one of these quarterbacks, Burrow, Dak, or Nix? Should I just roll with Loveland? My running backs are Gibbs, Hendo, Chase Brown, and Aaron Jones. I mean, yes, he's worth a pickup. Short answer, Strange is worth the pickup. I had him on the waiver wire episode for the last 2 weeks now. I like his rest of season schedule. I think if you're dropping anybody, I would rather hold Aaron Jones at the moment because I feel like you need running back more than quarterback. I think you drop one of the quarterbacks and it's going to be a tough drop. I like Dak the rest of the way. I like Burrow the rest of the way. I think the drop for you is going to be Bo Nix. And then I think I would pick up Strange if you need the tight end help. So yeah, I think I'm dropping Nix and just rolling with Dak and Burrow the rest of the way. A-Rod, didn't mean to skip your question. He says, I have Stafford and Dart, so I traded Burrow in London to a non-playoff team to get Breeze and BTJ. Did I cook? I don't think so. I would have really liked to have kept London. I don't like him being thrown in that deal because I look at my rest of season rankings and I do have London still as a top 20 guy. Yeah, I think I'd rather have... I like the process of moving off of Burrow. I just don't like throwing London in. I almost would have liked it if you would have just moved Burrow for Brees and then kept it at that, or moved Burrow for BTJ if that was your flavor. I wouldn't have moved London in it. Should I pick up Jordan Mason or Bam Knight to replace CMC on bye? I currently have... Jordan Mason higher in my rankings this week, so I'm gonna go with Jordan Mason, but not a big fan of him rest of the season. But if it's just a 1 week stream, yeah, I'm down for it. Dart, what's up, man? Says Rico and Henderson are on bye. Are we starting Harvey or Hampton if he's back? I think right now I'm just gonna play Harvey. He has a good matchup. Have him as a top 10 running back in my rankings this week. As far as Hampton goes, the matchup is solid. Want to see him back in the lineup, but I think Harvey's the safer play. Can't rely on Gadsden anymore, but don't want to drop him. Who would you drop out of Corum, Brian Robinson, P. Ryan? I have Chase Brown or Danny Dimes to pick up Strange. P. Ryan. P. Ryan would be the drop. I get that you have Chase Brown, but I'll be honest. If Chase Brown goes down, P. Ryan ain't saving that season. He ain't doing it. And it might be a mix of Taj Brooks too. So yeah, no, I'm dropping P. Ryan. Start 4. Vidal Hampton, Neil Kamara, Knight Carter, Manungai. Then should I drop Sticky Ricky? Start 4, and then you gave me 4 backfields. I mean, it would be Hampton, Neil, Knight, Manungai. Yeah, I mean, the reality is you just start the starters in these backfields. So if it's start 4, you're just playing the starters. It's Knight over Carter for me. It's Manungai. It's Neil over Kamara because I don't think Kamara is going to play this week. And I would go Hampton over Vidal if he plays, but it might just be Vidal here this week. Then he says, should I drop Sticky Ricky and or Tootin for Pollard, Spears, Vele, Mitchell, Tesla, Wicks, Burden, Browns wide receivers? No. I would rather have Sticky Ricky and Tootin than all of those guys. I don't want that Titans backfield. Which 2 are the best bench stashes? Tootin, Emmanuel Wilson, Corum, Pacheco, DJ Moore, Adonai Mitchell, Burden, Browns. I think Tootin and probably Corum are the top 2 bench stashes for me. Kittle on bye. Which tight end is best this week? Ertz, Andrews, Taylor, Engram, Barner, or Loveland? I do think, just based off of memory, I think that Andrews is the highest in my rankings, but let me confirm. I do have Andrews as the highest in my rankings. So give me Andrews this week against Pittsburgh. Browns defense or Bucks defense? I do like the Browns defense more against Tennessee. I think Myles Garrett's going to have himself a day with Cam Ward. So, yeah, I probably would go with the Browns defense. Who wins this week, Bears or Packers? Hashtag go pack go. I'm gonna go Green Bay because they're at home. I think Green Bay wins at home. But then in week 16, when Chicago's at home, I think Chicago might split with you. I'll side with the home team. Juwan Johnson or Strange? I'm going to go with Strange this week. Strange is the top 5 tight end for me this week. Burrow's my starting quarterback, by the way. That is the Gadsden. Yeah, with Danny Dimes. Makes sense. I still would drop P. Ryan. I got so many solid guys, but it's a home league with my boys, and they never really take trades, even if they're fair. Been trying to tear up all year, and they don't bite. I get it. I'm in a few of those leagues, and I mean, in all honesty, those leagues I think are some of the most fun leagues is when you're just playing with your homies, because that's what really got me into this in the first place. So I think just playing in those home leagues with your homies is some of the most fun that you can have. There's a lot of shit talk in those leagues. Bragging rights probably mean a little bit more. Also don't mind stealing some of their money if I win the championship, take it right out of their pockets because they don't need it. It belongs to me. So I do like those. But I get it. Trades sometimes can be hard. Call me crazy, but I have Carnell Tate as my wide receiver 1 this April. I don't think you're crazy for the most part. I think right now for me, I'm pretty... I don't want to be solidified into any player right now, especially before I get into my heavy all-22 tape grind, because I do start that all-22 tape grind in January after the NFL season or after the fantasy season is kind of wrapped up. I'm basically grinding tape from then till April. So... love Carnell Tate. Think he's a very solid player. Very excited about getting him on a couple of these dynasty teams that I have. Jordan Tyson, I think right now is my wide receiver 1. ETN and an early third for Javonte. I'm okay taking the Javonte side. It's a fair deal either way. Before the season started, I traded Bo Nix for the 104 and got Tet. How does it look now? I mean, I like both players. I think for me, I've kind of been debating, I've been trying to get really strict with who I'm calling cornerstones. And I was doing a list the other day of cornerstone players. I think Bo Nix should be considered a cornerstone asset for most people. T-Mac is on the way to being there. So I think it comes down to team need. If I had to pick one today, who goes higher in a startup draft for me, it might be Bo Nix. But I don't think it's, a bad trade by any means. Pick a championship lineup. Team A has Love or Mayfield, Achane, McCaffrey, Jacobs, Chase, Devonta Smith, Diggs, Bowers. Team B has Hurts or Lamar, Cook, Hampton, Henderson, JSN, Puka. It got cut off, but I'll be honest, I don't even need to see the rest of that. JSN, Puka, Rice, CD, McBride, Lamar, Hurts, Team B. I'm taking Team B, and it ain't close, if we're being honest. Full PPR, running back 2, pick 1, Tootin or Woody. This week I think I have Woody higher. Let me double check. Yes, I do have Woody higher. So give me him. And then for the flex with Worthy, Pierce, Ferguson, Franklin, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go Franklin. So give me Franklin and Woody. Who should I start on my flex? Neal, BTJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Rodriguez, Michael Wilson, Pittman, or Mechie? Should I keep a Dunze in my wide receiver spot or bench him? I would have a couple of these guys over Rome, I think, this week. One of them is going to be Pittman over Rome. I would probably have Michael Wilson over Rome. I think those would be the two. So give me Wilson and Pittman as the two starts. One of them over Rome in the wide receiver spot and one of them in the flex. A-Rod says, damn, I didn't cook. I just don't like Lennon with Kirk on. I hate not feeling safe with starting him because of Kirk. Makes sense. I get it. And look, man, just because I wouldn't make it doesn't mean that you can't still win a championship, even if that's the move you made. He said, for the record, I'm not really planning on starting BTJ outside of the emergency. Makes sense. Should I drop JCM, Emmanuel Wilson, or Rashad White for AD Mitchell, Loveland, Likely, or Tesla? You drop JCM, man. I think I'd drop JCM, and I'd probably be picking up Tesla if you need somebody to play this week. If you need somebody more long-term, I think AD Mitchell's fine long-term. It's a 10-team dynasty, 5 years in, and we both drafted a good amount of those players. Makes sense. Makes sense. I like it, and that's how it should be. I put a little emoji. You know how you can nickname the players in Sleeper? I put an emoji next to the players that I drafted. If I drafted them in the startup or the rookie draft, they get that emoji, and what that means is they've been on my team and my team only. They've never played for another roster, and that's just how I indicate that those are the players that I have rostered and nobody else has. Those are my guys in that league. Should I drop either Diggs or Burden for AD Mitchell? I'm okay potentially dropping Burden if you want to. I'm definitely not dropping Diggs. Rest of the season, I need only one with Chris Godwin, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, or Jaden Higgins. I'm probably going to go with Watson right now. Hampton's got to come back this week, right? If he does, is he startable over Marks, Aaron Jones, and Dobbs? Yes, he would be startable over those guys. It sounds like he could be back this week. And they may need him too. With Herbert's injury, they may need to lean into this run game a little bit more. And who better than Hampton? So I think he is trending towards being back this week. We'll see how the practice reports develop tomorrow. But he would be startable over those guys. What's your outlook on Scary Terry for the rest of the season? I currently have him as a wide receiver 2 the rest of the way. So, not a wide receiver 1, but I think a lot of that is because of Jaden Daniels' uncertainty in the air, but we'll see. I think he's definitely showed out, on, what was that, Monday night? Was it Monday night? No, it wasn't Monday night. It was Sunday night. One of them. Like I said, it felt like the longest weekend ever with Thanksgiving. Let's go, Bo. I like it. Is Nico Collins a buy or a sell this offseason? Depends on where the market settles with him. If I pull up KTC right now, he's currently ranked as wide receiver 13, which at that cost, it feels about appropriate. So I'm not really, I don't know if I would call him a buy or a sell at that spot. He's more of a hold at that place. It feels appropriate. Because I would take guys like London over him, guys like Igbuka over him, Rashi. I think the argument maybe is like wide receiver 11. Would you rather go Nico or T-Mac right now? Would you rather go Nico or George Pickens? I think that's where your argument starts. I got Team B and I'm in a second behind Team A. He's running back heavy and I'm wide receiver heavy. Yeah, makes sense. Dobbins done for the year. Who else would be a good IR/out player to stash on my IR slot? Yeah, it does seem like he's, probably not going to play again during the fantasy season. Who would be another IR guy to stash? I mean, Evans, right now, we don't know when he's going to come back. Trey Benson, I've been stashing Benson for a couple weeks. Those are just the ones that come off the top of mind right now. Not a fan of handcuffing your running backs. I'm paranoid since I don't really have any RB3. No, I mean, I'm a fan. I think handcuffing your running backs is fine. And I'm for handcuffing my own running backs, especially as we get into the fantasy football playoffs. But I think there's a difference between like handcuffing actual handcuffs and taking blind shots at guys who may or may not be handcuffs. I also don't really want to use a shit ton of my roster spots each week on guys that aren't going to benefit my team or won't give me flexibility unless something damaging happens to my starting lineup. So I would say for me, it's more so just like I'll handcuff my RB1, maybe my RB2 as well, but I'm not handcuffing an RB3. I'm not handcuffing an RB4. I'm not filling my whole bench with handcuffs. I want other people's handcuffs. If I don't have Kyron, I want Corum. Like, I want to be able to benefit and still be able to plug an extra piece into my starting lineup without having to take a guy out of my starting lineup because he got hurt. Maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But Galaxy says, I have a bye this week. Have Waller in my IR spot. Droppable players are Tootin, Corum, Dobbs, Burden. Who'd you drop? Planning on waiting until next week to see if anyone gets hurt since I have a bye. Of those names, Tootin, Corum, Dobbs, Burden would be the drop for me. Someone dropped Herbert recently. Should I drop Brissett for him? In my rest of season rankings, I do have Herbert over Brissett the rest of the way. So yes, I would probably do it. Which defense rest of season? I have Detroit and Indianapolis available on waivers. On waivers is Tennessee, Arizona, Washington, Las Vegas, New York Jets, Dallas, New York Giants, Cincinnati, Carolina. Who do you like? He didn't say Tampa. I like Tampa the rest of the way. I kind of like Houston the rest of the way. They're not there for you. Who else? I'm just trying to look at like who I have as the top defenses and seeing if they match with you. Baltimore, they're not on there for you, I don't think. Philly, I like up there. They're not up there for you. Damn, man. I think Washington is interesting the rest of the way of this group. They would probably be one of the ones that I'm looking at. Detroit and Indy. I think Washington's interesting. They're probably the highest ranked in this group for me. Yeah, I think so. I like that idea with the emojis. Might have to use that one for my squad. Yeah, man, I do all my nicknames the same. It's like NFL draft capital, startup or rookie draft capital, and then the emoji if I drafted them. And then I always put like the hashtag of the team. So it'll be like hashtag take flight for the Jets, hashtag skull for the Vikings. It's just been something I've done for years. So that's kind of what I do. But everybody always sees it. Like when I show my rosters, I'll do videos in the off season and I'll show like some of my rosters and some of the moves I've made. And people are like, why is your nicknames like that? What do the nicknames mean? It's just draft capital. And then the emojis mean if I drafted them or not originally. Have you watched Stranger Things? I haven't. My wife has been binging it. I recently started over the Thanksgiving weekend. I started Landman on Paramount Plus because I signed up for Paramount Plus because they were having a deal of like $2.99 for the first 2 months. And I said, why not? Because I want to watch the UFC fights now that UFC is on Paramount Plus. And so I signed up for it, started watching Landman, and that's been my show that I've been watching lately. Is Rome a sell in Dynasty at this point? I don't think he's a sell. He's a wide receiver 16. right there with like Marv and Garrett Wilson and Brian Thomas. Like, I think he deserves to be right there around those guys, and I do like the offense long term. So, yeah, I'm not worried about him, or like I'm not panic selling off of him either. 12-team Superflex start 11. I've gotten pushback that my team is too good. However, I was one of the only managers willing to listen to any potential trades. Should I feel guilty? Never. Never feel guilty for being too good. Never. $95 on Jacoby Myers. DJ Moore is my other flex, so I might do it. Yeah, I mean, I think Jacoby Myers is an interesting piece the rest of the way for sure. I have him as my... where is he? I know for damn sure he's not this low. I've been my wide receiver 23 this week, so yeah, I'm all for it. Oh my god, what just happened? There we go. Command Z when all else fails. Would you trade CD plus Kirk for Rashi plus Kyler as a contender? I would rather have Rashi and Kyler. Keeper leagues don't have rookie drafts, right? As the rookies just thrown in with the unkept players. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I haven't really ever played in a keeper league. I just went from a redraft straight to dynasty. We didn't do that like half bullshit. I feel like if you're playing in a keeper, just go to dynasty, man. My running backs are Cook, Gainwell, Bam, Sampson, and Rashad White. Should I drop any of these guys for Pirine or Ray Davis or Ty Johnson or Rashard Smith? I'm okay dropping Bam Knight once Benson gets back for Ray Davis, just to handcuff Cook. But other than that, I'm good. You may be able to play Bam this week, though, and then after this week, drop him for Ray. Start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex in a full PPR. Igbuka, Flowers, Judkins, J-Mo, Harvey, Genty, Waddle. The 2 wide receivers for me are going to be... J-Mo and Waddle. J-Mo and Waddle are the 2 wide receivers. The flex is Harvey. Give me Harvey, J-Mo, and Waddle. Appreciate you, man. Have a blessed week to you as well. Everybody in the chat, hit the damn like. I like it. Yeah, hit the like button, man. And appreciate you for being here, man. Good luck this week as well. I know hopefully you've already clinched. I think you said you might have clinched. But hopefully you don't need the good luck and you're just looking for week 15. What's up, Grizz? Appreciate you being here, man. And Insidious says, all right, see you later, Andrew. Appreciate the help. No worries, man. Appreciate you being here as well. As always, folks, we went for about an hour. We're answering all the questions. I think that's it, man. We've caught up to the bottom. We're down here. Unless Grizz has a question. Grizz, if you got a question, you know, I'm happy to answer it because I saw you just get in chat for the first time. But if you don't got a question, you're just saying, what up? Appreciate you. But other than that, man, we don't have anything else for you guys today. So do me the favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. I'm going to wait about 10 more seconds for Grizz, I think. But other than that, I think that's it, folks. Appreciate you. Good luck in week 14. Hopefully you don't need it. But we're getting ready for those fantasy playoffs. Wide receiver rankings and running back rankings coming out tomorrow on the channel. And that's about it, man. That's about it. Frank says LBJ GOAT. And then Jeff says Troy Franklin or Alec Pierce. And I got Troy over Pierce this week. But that's it, folks. So nothing else for you today. We'll see you on the next one. Till then, peace.